cure is spiritual. No permanent remedy can ever be found for economic ills outside of a practical application. A practical application of what we teach about spirit. And that if we want to really have a permanent, I'm talking about a permanent remedy, not a Band-Aid. I'm talking about being the change that we want to see in the world, as Gandhi said, that the laws of spirit offer each one of us that remedy. As we practice a dynamic effect of our thinking and our power to choose the thoughts that we hold in our mind, we understand the law of mind action, and we actually see it. We see how situations change as we change the belief in our mind. We realize that all thinking and then what we speak about what we're thinking, the world acquiesces to our very perception. If we see lack, the world will acquiesce. Another person can go through a same situation and see an opportunity, and her world will acquiesce to opportunity. We follow the allegorical and metaphysical teachings of Jesus the Christ, and we realize it was about consciousness he taught. He taught about a complete, paradigm shift. To understand, where is God? Outside? No, the kingdom of heaven, it is within you. So that means wherever you are, the answer, the solution, the abundance, the healing, the health, the wholeness, it is right where you are. And so what we see is that we see this work in the reverse often. What I see certain times is that thoughts held in mind of some people are the very cause of their anxiety, are the cause of their lack, are the cause of their negative perception in the world. And then the world acquiesces and brings them lack and negativity and everything that which they feared for. And so the beauty of the realization one day to say, oh my God, my negative thinking has created my negative experience, is when we realize, make real the power of our mind, then we can flip it and say, well then, my positive thinking can dissolve any belief that has been holding me back, and I could make my whole life new through a conscious volition. Volition is an inner experience. It's a decree, if you will, to oneself that I will bring spirit to this very situation. Among the money-destructive thoughts that go around, people indulge their money chasing and the desire to possess things to feel good about themselves. Prosperity, abundance, I have come that you may have life and have it more abundantly. Everyone in this church should be secure. Everyone in this church should look at their life and dream about more and get a degree and look for better jobs. I am not in any way diminishing the importance of financial stewardship and money. What I am saying is if we're chasing money to feel good about ourselves, or we're desiring to possess things simply to fill a void inside of us, it's temporary. And it will never last, and it is the antithesis of spiritual economics. It is to put all of our mind in outer things, and then we reduce those outer things to the next, shot, if you will, or the next high, or the next drink, and then that wears off and we need something else. There is a cure for this constant draining of spirituality. There is a cure for this anxiety caused. It is to realize these thoughts are not true. The lies in constructive thinking aligned with truth with a capital T. We've been speaking about so many practical ways to really move through all the negativity outside, to move through all the fear, to move through all of the news. We've been practically looking at concrete ways. We talked about gratitude. We talked about consciousness. We talked about not watching the news. We talked about writing affirmations. There have been so many concrete ideas that we can practice on a regular basis. Today I want to talk about the law of giving and living with a consciousness of generosity. The reason I think it's important to talk about that is there's a divine equilibrium, a balance, if you will, in all finances, and it corresponds directly to our inner consciousness. In order to demonstrate success in any area, whether it's a marriage, a partnership, a business, even in ministry, which every one of those are a great effort, we seek a loving cooperation with the higher power inside of ourselves. Some call it the Christ, some call it Jehovah, some call it God, some pray to Allah. But the feeling should be the same, whomever name we call out to. You know, we in this church understand and we know that finances in the physical are based upon spiritual love and justice. That's the only way you could manage any sort of business that's based upon free will offerings. If you think about it, you must stand before, a ministry and realize there's a loving cooperation of that which we understand as God. Imagine if all of you went to work and every Friday you just put out a basket and asked your boss to give you a free will offering. Imagine if there was no union fighting for you, or no contract that said this is what I agree to do for this amount of money. And it's silly, but we understand if you can think beyond the limitation that my paycheck is my prosperity, then you open up to infinite abundance. Finances, ultimately, they are the energy of love and the energy of God, however you understand God. And these are mighty powers. Love, justice, equity, on a spiritual side of the coin, these are divine and mighty ideas. All things will eventually come under their influence. With right thinking and just actions, we can introduce these ideas into any area of our life. With right thinking about what is possible, about my potential, about my calling, combined with just action, this is what I am well able to do to co-create a universe that I dream about or that has been inspired in my heart. We pave the way for universal abundance. This dominating idea about money getting as the goal will one day, and is now, we can see it being replaced with ideas of usefulness and good works. Just affirm and know that it's far more important to be useful and to demonstrate good works in this now moment, and everything else will take care of itself. These are new ideas, new thought ideas carried out by individuals like us, individuals who are resolved to live from a consciousness of abundance and be that light, be that candle, if you will, that can be seen from a mile away. And I know you're saying, oh man, you're a dreamer. Come on, Rev. Get with the program. Well, there are practical ways. We can live from the hard and fast, the rigid, the cold. We can have a month of a Scrooge-like attitude. And you know the picture I'm drawing that. You can live by Murphy's Law. What is Murphy's Law? Whatever can go wrong will go wrong. I know people that live by that. Man, they're always telling me what's wrong with the world. And I'm like, well, you created it. They don't want to hear that from me. But it's the truth, people don't want me to, oh, poor baby, but I'm not the, oh, poor baby type of minister. Come on, if you believe everything that can go wrong will go wrong, no change, no change.